Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob DeMarco. Coming up, we take a look at a new day-to-night design from a new knife company, BP Knives. Day to night, that's my term. State of the collection. I have an Emerson on loan. Can't wait to see that or show that off. And then we take a look at 5 knives that make me happy. This is a tag that's been going around the YouTube knife world, and I was tagged by Professor EDC. Professor, hello, if you're there. And I've been meaning to do it, meaning to shoot that video, but I decided why not do it right here and get some feedback while I'm doing it. Evolve, good to have you here. Hey. G-Man, how's it going with you, sir? It's going great here. Lone Wolf, this channel makes me happy. Lone Wolf, that makes me happy. Thank you, sir. Nick, pleasure to have you here as always. And people of the knives. Dave, this old sword blade reviews. How you doing, man? Lots of videos coming from Dave recently. Lots of cool, like this petrified fish brand. Very interesting stuff happening over on Dave's channel. Michael, great to have you here, sir. Mr. Morgan, Blade Ogre, Chris, the Bowie Man with us. Great to have you here. Excuse me. It looks like I ate an everything bagel right over here. Right on top of my computer, which I didn't. Before we get to a pocket check, I just have to ask you a question. And this is similar to one I asked you recently where I'm working with a new guy. He's not a knife guy at all. What should I get him? Pelican was what Shane, always a pleasure. Good to have you here, sir. The QSP Pelican came up. Pelican, right? And good one, but I need another suggestion, something smaller. So if you can think of anything small, really cool, well-built, inexpensive, let me know what that is. Ash, great to have you here. I've been thinking about the Elementum. I mean, they've made 50,000 versions of the Elementum. Does that just mean I should get one? Of course, I end up, will be gifting this. James Moore, great to have you here. President Merkin Muffley. Professor EDC, good to have you here, sir. This is on your suggestion that tonight I will be talking about 5 knives that make me happy. Nick, always a pleasure, Nick. Nick Martino of the M4 Yojimbo, and so much more, of course. Chris Wolf. Chris, it's a pleasure. Hey, everyone. Hope all's going well. All is going well here, indeed. Blade Hobby, also a pleasure. Good to have you. Let me know. And anything, I keep thinking Civivi. Maybe it's because they have so many models. And recently, I guess Jared from Neves Knives has been talking a lot about them. I don't know. Civivi. Should I get a Civivi? I want to get something that I will have for a short while just to try out and do a video on, and then give away to this this guy that I'm working with. So let me know. Anything small. So this week I have a smattering of knives before me, as always. And as I look at them, they're all great and they're all wonderful, but only 3 of them were in my pocket today. So why don't we do a pocket check? So today, and this whole week, this is very unusual for me to carry something day after day. It's been about 5 days in a row that I've carried this. This is my old Hinderer XM18 Spanto. I had the blade reground by Josh over at Razor Edge. And I used to have this Python micarta blade scale here that really started to feel tacky, and I don't know, I just didn't like it anymore. But I kept seeing this micarta, maroon burgundy micarta with the milling. I wanted the milling back. I really liked the texture on the XMs, and so I got this off of Blade HQ. I believe that was $100 for that blade scale. So, you know, a lot of money has gone into this knife, but I gotta say, now it is such a pleasure to carry and to use, and I'm just glad to be rid of that scale. Not that I got rid of it, I will keep it just in case. Who knows, maybe it goes on my other XM at some point. But anyway, I've been carrying this for days ever since. I mean, the blade, since it's been reground, is an absolute laser. So it's pretty awesome. Hey, Chris, good to have you here, sir. What were you carrying today? Let me know. I had my quill. You know, I've been carrying this quill a lot. This thing is cool. Asher Knives Flashback, a clip point for about $40. That is a cool knife. It actually does kind of look flashbacky. That's the one that that looks like it looks kind of like a modern interpretation of a Barlow. Pretty cool. Quack, good to have you here. Quack won a knife a couple of weeks ago. Peter, great to have you here. Peter joined us last week. Peter and Christine, great to have you here. Shane Gables, get him a Civivi F. Civivi F. Now they're just calling them by letters, huh? So I had my quill and a small, well-made Spyderco Chaparral. That's a good thought. That's an interesting thought. They have a lot of cool versions of that too. Penguins are like 35-ish. Yeah, the penguin is cool. I'm thinking about getting one for myself now, and then maybe also a CJRB. But for this guy I'm talking about, it needs to be smaller. Civivi Odium. Odium. Is that one of the Ferrum Forge designs? I believe it might be. Knives Fast, good to have you here, sir. Welcome to the show. Good to have you here. We were just doing a pocket check. I want to hear what you guys were carrying, but first I want to finish showing you what I was carrying. Hollywood Tactical, great to have you here. Can't go wrong with the Civivi Elementum. But how about the SRM Axis style lock? Well, I've had one exposure to it, and that specimen, that SRM, was not just was kind of felt very chintzy, and I couldn't fix the action on it. So, or the centering. So it wasn't a great first impression, though that was a pass around knife. So I don't know if it had been meddled with by unskilled hands, but it didn't seem like it. The last thing I was carrying is I just started carrying this again. This is a Bark River Knives mini bush sacks. I made this Kydex sheath quite a while ago, but I just recently put an ulti clip on there and started carrying it in the waistband. And usually I carry a knife with the edge forward in my waistband. So if I draw it out in reverse grip, I have it like this. But this knife is, I just carry it this way. So if I need it standard, I can just grab it like so. But if I yank it out in reverse grip, it's in this more Pakal orientation. And this knife is kind of begging for that anyway. Bark River Knives, great. This is the A2 tool steel. You can see some grind lines in there. Nice canvas micarta, red liners. I love this thing. So yeah, today I had three things on me. The quill, which I just carry kind of as a matter of course these days by Wingard Wearables. My modified Spanto XM18, love that knife, and the Bark River mini sacks. What were you guys carrying? Tell me, let me know. You know, I've been, God, I hate to have to put it like this, but I feel like I need to buy more knives. And that, of course, that means I got to sell some of those knives off after I get them. But my Blade Hobby says my new Formax Scout, nice, and my CRKT. Which CRKT, Blade Hobby? I can't remember what you carry CRKT wise. Chris Wolf says, carrying the Hindar XM24 spear point. Nicely done, sir. And the TRM Neutron 2. This is a classy gentleman we have here. That spear point, is that the one? Well, actually, that must be either really old or really somewhat new. I'm curious as to which it is. I think they made the spear point with that extra long swedge in the 24. Blade Freak, carried my carbon fiber and camo Quayback today. Nicely done. The Quayback. Today was the DLT Spyderco Delica in CPM 20 CV. Very nice. What is the handle material on that, Peter? Is that just a different colored plastic, but FRN? The Arcona Nettle F today from Ivan Braganets. Man, that guy's just been killing it, knocking it out of the park. And this Arcona, this is the new one, right? The brand new one that you can get through Levon of Knife Nuts. Hollywood Tactical decided to carry the Cold Steel Formax Scout in CJRB Melia. Interesting. We just had someone else. Who was just carrying the Formax Scout? Sorry. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We have a couple of scouts today. It's good news. David E., pleasure to have you here. Carried my PM3 in 4V and Norseman today. We're going to talk a little while later about a new company called BP Knives that has a little folder out coming out in 4V. I mean, 4V obviously is better than 3V, but is it the same? Is it similar characteristics, just more? Let me know. Hogue Ritter and GEC 86. Love the 86. And of course, the Hogue Ritter. What's not to love about that? Perfectly awesome knife. Had both rats today. Both rats. The one in the two. Get him a talwar and tell him to man up. If you really want to man up, it's not a talwar. It's a 7.5-inch espada. And my wife would say woman up. So if you want to nut up, I guess. Evolved EDC. Sleesh buoy. So nice. The new one. Oh, I'm just kidding. And the Protec TR3 operator. I got to say, I do really like the look of the new Sleesh buoy. The one with that blue ano. I love that gray, owl gray blue ano thing. I love it. N. Conway, good to have you here. Buck Knives Mini Spitfire in S30V. That was a cool knife, the Spitfire. Even non-knife people recognize the name, and it runs $45. Nice. Yeah, and that Spitfire was a cool design, and that's the one that has a semi-open side. Is that right? Michael Morgan, today I was carrying my bare knuckle in 20 CV and an Opinel or Opinel number 7. Number 7, just slightly less larger than the 8. When the 8 is the standard. Like that's the one when people say, I guess that's the most selling, the highest selling Opinel or Opinel. Bare knuckle. Oh, bare knuckle. Yes. That's I know which one that is. Walt, pleasure. Carried my Wee Arrakis, cool, and Civivi Dogma in brass and Damascus today. Love the Civivi Dogma. I absolutely love that blade design. And the Arrakis, that's cool. So, Walt, when you're carrying the Arrakis, is it more you're carrying that because that's an object of interest and you're going to use the Dogma to cut? Or is the Arrakis, serviceable and a good enough knife that you like it? I know it's a Wii, but, sometimes you might look at an Isham design or one of those early proof of concept Isham designs and think it might not be good. I don't know. So let me know. JN says, hello, knife persons. Hello, JN. Pleasure to have you here. Hollywood Tactical. Could you demonstrate how you usually carry your fixed blade and draw it in reverse grip? Yes, sir. I think my headphones will reach. Well, here's one. So it's like this, except usually it's in the waistband, but since I'm just hanging out, it's not in the waistband. And so it's like this, and I just draw it like this, and it's in reverse grip. But usually the sheath is actually not attached to my belt, but attached to my pants. And either over the belt and attached to the pants or just attached to the pants. But this is for casual home use. Yeah, so just at 3 o'clock, pull it out and there it is. The trick is concealing it and wearing either an untucked shirt or in which case then you have to wear an undershirt unless you don't mind the blade rubbing against, or who knows, maybe you're svelte and you don't worry about that. But yeah, that's how I like to do it. I used to like to do it in the small of my back at an angle. And then I thought, well, someone said, what if you're knocked to your back and you can't get it and it hurts? And I was like, that's a good point. You could like really hurt your spine that way and not be able to access your knife if someone's on top of you. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, I carry it on my side. So hopefully I just don't fall on my side. Scott N, always a pleasure. Rat 1 for me. So they have the Rat 1 now with the micarta. How do we feel about this? Zen Ali, good to have you here. You also had a rat one. All right. 2 people carrying a rat one. At what? In OS 8 today, everyone's carrying a rat. What's up with that? And I was about to say, I think everyone has a new micarta one, but Knives Fast here has the 1 and the 2 in OS 8, like the ones I have. And those are older. So is what I say to that. Interesting alignment of the stars. Chris, Spyderco Arctic Storm PM2. Ooh, that sounds nice. Demco 20.5 and Blue Alox Swiss Army Knife Farmer X. I like all of them with an X. Make them all X. And a Buck Marksman. That's cool, man. I've never had the Buck Marksman. And still the Pena X Bronco. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you're usually at 4, but today you're at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 knives, man. Well, let's see. If I include my key knife, which is a launch 9, the little switchblade is a little automatic, is on my keychain. And then if I, the diagnostic, which is the little two finger karambit under my work ID, I guess I end up carrying 5 knives or so. Trevor Berger, LEXK plus front flipper came in the mail today. LEXK plus. No, now I don't know which one this is. Came in the. It sounds like one hell of a. I mean, I know Trevor Berger, so congratulations, Quack. That sounds pretty awesome. Hero Sticks, good to have you here. Evening and cheers all. Good evening, Hero Sticks. It's great to hear from you. James Moore says, got my Sharp by Design chicane with me now. Chicane? Is that how you pronounce it? James, come on for a minute. What is the chicane? Come on, show it off. You can do it. Just go to theknifejunkie.com/join and aim it at you. I want to see this thing. 4V has higher edge retention than 3V, but lower toughness, kind of between 3V and M4. Okay, 4V has higher edge retention than 3V. Okay, but lower toughness. Okay, got that. Kind of between 3V and M4. Interesting. 4V. Well, geez, man. I think it sounds cool. 3V is I know that to be good because I have a few larger fixed blades with that. Hero Stick says Urban EDC Plus F5.5 in brown micarta. Nice. And my Hunter handmade knives dressed up EDC fixed blade. Ooh, I'm intrigued. That sounds nice. Hunter handmade. G-Man W CQC 10. Ooh, nice. And a TRM, sorry. And a TRM Neutron 2. Nice. I love the CQC 10. And it's one that you don't see often. But I often thought that would be an excellent addition to my collection. But what's the snake part? Curious about that. JN says he's got the usual carbon fiber native Chief, the OG Freak, the 20 CV Sheep's Foot Griptilian, the DLT Trading Delica, the Eldris, and tossed the micarta large feldspar in back pocket for a while. Wow, man. See, that's something about you all. You're all at least more than one, but many of you veer into the 4, 5, and 6 a day. And I highly respect all of us. 4V has better edge retention, but corrodes faster. Trade-offs. Indeed. They're all trade-offs. What do you think the best one is? I love 154 CM or CPM 154. I do. Ash is carrying her mini Griptilian in hot pink. Very nice. What blade shape are you at there, Ash? Is it the sheep's foot or is it the regular drop? And also, is it in black? I love the black and the pink. I have the black and pink Rat 2, and it's called Pinky Tuscadero. The Arrakis is strictly to connect with other knife guys I may run into. Pocket jewelry. The Dogma is a treasured gift. Oh, nice. That Dogma is so thin, so thinly ground, so sharp at the point. JN, my 5th pocket knife was my 6th pocket knife today. Yeah, that's the LOL. My 5th. Okay. Shane, S90V Native Chief and a 20CV Dragonfly. Very nice. And good upgrades on the steels here, might I say. You don't want to get caught with a regular native, Chief. Carrying the mini Adamas and mini bug out. The mini bug out. It's already kind of mini. P.S. Don't tell non-knife people that it's called the mini Adamas. Yeah, right. No kidding. I've been Shane Siebert, however you pronounce his name, Sibeert, Siebert, the designer of the Adamas and many other really incredibly cool knives, has been posting a number of custom Adamases and mini Adamases that he's bringing to the gathering in Las Vegas this weekend. And oh my God, those knives are amazing. If you don't follow Shane Siebert, you should, because his knives are incredibly beautiful, really precisely produced, and he photographs them really nicely. So you got to check him out. His designs are so cool. Scott N says D2 OD green plastic for me. Okay. All right. So maybe just rat is in the air, and just coincidentally they're coming out with a micarta one. Nick says, don't worry, Bob. I wasn't carrying the rat today. Something much, much better. All right. What were you carrying, Nick? Let me know. Come on, man. Blade Ogre says, I carry 8 sometimes. 8. Well, if I've got my backpack on, I'm easily carrying 8. Scott N. Blade Ogre lives in fear of metal detectors. Yeah. Dear God. Actually, the place where I work had a metal detector and up front. And the first day I started 10 years ago, I was like, oh no, how am I going to work here? And as it turns out, they don't use that one. They have different ways of spying on you. Still need a Rat 1, says Michael Morgan. My Rat 1 lives in my bug out bag that's in my car, and I rarely take it out. But when I do, what a great knife. I should get a D2 version. This Old Sword, Dave says, for your friend and gifting that small knife, consider the MKM Asanzo in your choice of blade shape and color. Yeah. And I might consider one for myself too. That little S-shaped blade, that little double recurve. Oh, that is cool. And the blue with the orange backspacer. It's just, I like it. Chris says, at least I got a week paid time off. Nice. Plus, I get to watch Thursday Night Knives. Yes, sir. Good to have you here. Always. Walt Gilbert. I'm waiting for my Rat 1 from Way of Knife. Just any day, custom scales and spa treatment. I have really liked how BJ Hill does his custom rats. I love the way they look with the thumb hole, just the round hole. And every time you drill a round hole, you got to drop a check in the mail to Spyderco, but it still looks and works great. Nick says, we have access to such awesome knives. Why not carry 5? That's the thing. That really is the thing. It's like, not only is there access, but there's volume. And it's like, if I don't carry 5, then any one of these knives I could easily justify getting rid of because I never carry them. See what I mean? Rat 1, ultimate beater for a long day at work. I could see it being better in the D2. I have to say, with my Rat 1, I'm wondering if I had a bad heat treat on the OS 8 on my Rat 1, because I could get it sharp, but I could never keep it sharp. And I don't know if that was my own shortcoming or if it was that particular batch of OS 8, but it didn't behave like all the OS 8 from Cold Steel that I had at that point. Hollywood Tactical says, likewise, if I don't count all the backup knives I have on my keychain, backpack, glove compartment, armrest, car trunk, etc., I have too many knives to mention. It's true. It's true, because sometimes that's how you justify a knife purchase, or keeping a knife. It's like, well, I need to keep this knife because this is the spice cabinet knife. And, this is the one that I keep in the second drawer in the bathroom, next to the Q-tips. It gets like that. But when in reality, you never really needed or used a knife in that drawer. So you're just coming up with excuses. But hey, I'm all in on those excuses. Nick Martino says, today was my Blade HQ exclusive Jade Elementum Nice. Blade HQ Kaiser Yorkie in shred carbon fiber, Olate Warrior Mini in camo, and my green Leatherman K. I gotta, okay. Yeah. I still gotta up my my flashlight or torch game and start including that. I still can't get that excited about them. Help me at some point to get excited. I kind of like the look of Jim Skelton's Cylon light that he just made. I don't know. It's so expensive. And I know like people must say that about knives, but man, flashlights that cost that much to me. I'm like, what? But I get it. Of course I get it. Of course I get it. G-Man says the CQC 10 Snake Blade is a Bowie recurve similar to the Commander. Okay. All right. So this is the one that I'm thinking of. I'd never heard it referred to as the Snake Blade. I love it. That's a nice one. Drop point blade, satin, not black. All right. Well, it's a classic, the drop point. And I think that's the only way it came on that pink handle, if I'm not mistaken. Michael says, my Carter rats, where, when? I swear I saw them. Yes, my Carter rats. Where? Obviously, I was sitting on my ass in front of a computer, but where was I on that computer when I saw that? Well, I don't know. I can't remember. I think it's an exclusive somewhere, or maybe not. Someone else there has to know. Shane says, Bob, before you buy the Rat D2, watch the Outpost 76 edge retention test on them. Oh, okay. All right. Well, the edge retention on my Rat OS 8 has been not great, but at this point, it's a non-issue. It's razor sharp, and it's in my get-home bag in my car, which hopefully I never need, but if I do, it's there and it's sharp for that time. But the Rat D2, okay, will do. Sean T says, hey, Bob. Hey, everyone. Sean, it's a pleasure to have you here. Zen Ali says, my Carter Rats at Knife Center. Of course, that's where I was. I'm usually at one of 4 or 5 places anyway online there. Professor, let's see, Knife Center has my Carter Rats. I think that's what Professor EDC was saying. Knife Center has those rats. All right, nice. Check them out. We got a rat infestation over here. Yeah, you got that right, man. You got that right. Rats. That's interesting. Actually, a Rat 2 almost made my topic of discussion, 5 knives that make me happy. But it mostly makes me happy on the sentimental end, and I wanted to be more specific about how it makes me happy. It can't be strictly sentimental because I got a lot of stuff here that I like and don't use that's sentimental to me. But so in any case, Rat 2, Rat is in the air. Cool flashlight you'll have with you all the time and can entertain yourself with for hours is the Olight O-Pen Pro with bright clip mounted LED and green laser pointer. Oh, I like it. You had me at green laser pointer. That's pretty awesome. But also, I like those kind of clips. I think what you're talking about, the kind of clip you can put on a baseball hat so you have a sort of impromptu headlamp. Shane Gable says the OS 8 tested great. You may have gotten a soft one. Either that or when I had it, my skills and in both sharpening and using aren't what they are now, maybe. Never had a Rat, but they always looked utilitarian and useful. Yeah, I agree. They look comfortable to hold. I always thought they looked like they felt better than they looked. And I was right about that. I mean, in my opinion, anyway. Snuz, good to have you here. All this rat talk made me swap out my beater for work tonight. Rat 2 it is, fellas. What did you trade it out for? Don't leave us hanging. That's awesome. I'm glad you did that. Sean T, carrying for today was the AD20 small Sabenza Microtech Iconic. Nice. Light was over ready Boss FT35. That sounds pretty serious, especially with all of those capital letters. 8020, very nice choice. Small Sabenza and then the Microtech. I mean, strong pocket check today for you, sir. Coming up on Sunday, Number 248 of the Knife Junkie podcast, it's Michael Janich of Spyderco Knives. That show goes live on Sunday. Patrons get early access. Patrons also are getting now about 20 extra minutes or 15 or so extra minutes of interview time with the guests. We've been talking, Jim and I have been talking about this for a long time. I always end up having really great conversation after we stop rolling. And we kept meaning to kind of, record it. And that's what we've started doing. So we started that with Michael Janich. And we got through a whole hour of conversation. I had other questions I wanted to ask him. Most specifically, Michael Janich is the guy who designed the Yojimbo, the Yojumbo, the Ronin, and a host of other knives. And he's all about knife self-defense. And among other things, he basically has a spy's resume. Very interesting dude. But I wanted to find out what he thought of knives with rings like karambits and what he thought of Pikal style knives. So we talked about that a little bit off the cuff and off the record. He didn't know we were recording. It was hilarious. I'm just kidding. He did. I want him to come to Virginia, kick my ass. We told him, of course, and he agreed readily. But so that's what we're going to be doing now with all the interviews, just posting an extra 20 minutes or so for patrons. And it's another little thing to try and give people who give to the show. It's greatly appreciated. So enjoy 20 extra minutes, hopefully unfiltered, hopefully scandalous minutes with the guests of the Knife Junkie podcast. All right. Well, so now that we have spoken about our pocket carry, something I have carried past couple of days on and off, and I'll tell you about this in a second. Walt says, I've carried the Nebo Inspector RC for a few years now. I'd like something a little smaller with similar lumens, a smaller frame, and good battery life. All right, Walt, broadcast it out to the world. Let them know. They will get back to you because I have nothing to say on I was like, what is he talking about? I don't know that knife. Oh. Trip Hammond says 80/20 has replaced most of my full-size knives. Very nice. I just so happen to have one right here. Why don't I just show it off for a second? I love this knife. Came to me thanks to Lavender Pants. Lavender Pants, who I haven't seen in a little while. I got to catch up with him. Great guy. He lives near River's Edge Cutlery in Ohio. They had 5 of these things and sent them over. Oh, he sent me a picture. He knew I was wanting one, and he sent a picture on a lunch break, and I'm like, oh, sent him the money. He bought it. Awesome. Snuznuz, the good old Civivi Brazen. I do like the look of the Brazen Tanto. The Snee Snake, I think you mean Sea Snake, Scout in Scout Carry, and a Puma Pocket Hunter. Oh, cool. Wait, do you mean Sea Snake, Scout in Scout Carries? So is that the black Sea Snake, and you're carrying it in Scout Carry? Shane says, I've never owned a rat, but the Avispa instead, and regretted it. Oh, the Avispa. Yeah, that was a weird little, that was a frame lock, wasn't it? The Avispa, and it's got like I think, I like Pikal style knives, says Sean T. The Avispa, yeah, it wasn't compelling. I'd say try a rat, and then you'll really know. Sean T, I like Pikal style knives, looking to get one, but not sure which. The style is so natural compared to the karambit training. I agree. Lots of, you know what you got to do? I would suggest, because there aren't too many real mainstream makers of Pikals. I would do this. I would get the Victorinox fruit knife, heat and bend the handle, put a wrap on it or something. There are videos about this, and check that out. Make a little sheath for yourself. Check that out, and then keep your eye on various makers on Instagram, because chances are you're going to get something from, because it's hard to get them from regular makers, off the shelf. You can make yourself one with the Victorinox fruit knife, and then start looking around for, custom versions or less. There are a lot of makers there on Instagram who are doing pickle style knives, and you can get some affordable stuff. I would check out JB Knives, and affordable, of course, is a totally relative term. But when I think of custom knives, my mind always goes to custom folder knives prices. But custom fixed blade knives you can tend to get for a lot less, and that's how you're gonna get your pickle, I think. Jason Domingo, good to have you here, sir. Just got my baby Banty today. But Bean carrying Spidey Chef almost daily. Okay, so he's been carrying his Spidey Chef almost every day, but he got the new baby Banty. That's the banter, I think, right? I think that was a typo. Waiting for my Pena Bronco and Thai Penguin. So how do you people, I sound like my grandfather. We'd show up for a visit and he'd be like, "Hey, how you doing? When are you people going home?" But what do you think of the new banter with the choil? Is it good? I thought the banter itself was a great size for small, and going smaller. Let me know what you think about that. Snuz, right? You are, Bob. I do mean sea snake. Blacked out in Scout Carry. Very nice. I'm getting ready for work and listening. Don't mind me. Oh, yeah. Hey, man, not trying to call you out on your typing. I just wanted to make sure that we were talking about exactly the same thing. And I think the Sea Snake A is a beautiful design. I really like that knife. And then the all blacked out version is very cool. And it's so thin and so small. That is an easy one to carry on your belt, definitely around your neck. I do like neck knives, but I don't like carrying something too small on my belt, and that knife is kind of the perfect overall package for that, I think. Zen Ali says, for the record, the micarta Rat 1 basically looks like G10. Interesting. Yeah, I can't expect that they'd get the good micarta yet. Oh, yeah, got the Rat Model 2 brown micarta and some gray micarta scales. Nice, for PM2 for hecka cheap. Knife Center hooks it up right now, or they made me think they are. I've always loved Knife Center. Every once in a while they'll like, I don't know. Sometimes sometimes you have to be careful about what they have in stock, and I guess you learn to look for that. But anyway, Sean T, thanks for the advice, Bob. Hey, anytime. I'm sorry. I know you weren't asking for advice, but hey, thought I'd spill. Wish the choil was on the banter, but the baby banter works well. It's okay. Here we come back to the superficial. I think the banter looks great also for a cute, small utility knife. The banter looks great. I think the baby banter does not look great. I'm sure it feels great in hand. I'm sure it works fantastically. I don't think it looks so good. Walt, I love my banter as fifth pocket, but I think I might like the baby banter even more. I'm going to have to try one soon. Yeah, something about maybe the even small. Yes, so tiny and a choil. It's kind of like the whole handle is the choil. Like, I don't know. Call me crazy. Call me what you will. But I do think that the banter itself is like a sweet little scalpeline kind of knife. I like it, and I like now that they're putting different designs on the handle. Though I would get the black, the blue with the black, just because I think that's most like how it was intended. Excuse me. All right, so let me show you. Let's do this tag here. This 5 knives that make me happy. You've seen a lot of people have done their videos. Professor EDC tagged me, and I haven't made the video yet, and it's been sticking in my craw. And the longer I don't make the video, the less Knives Fasted one. I think agree, Bob. Way too small. Held at Blade Show. Not into it. I'm with you. Too small. But I didn't want it to become too long in the tooth before I showed off these things. Wait, what was that last one, Jim? Sorry. Agreed. I just grabbed the baby banter because it was so cute. Yeah, put it on your keychain. Sean T says, "I'm glad the baby banter can be left-handed, but I probably won't carry something that small. All coin pockets are on the right side anyway." Yeah, you got that right. All right, so knives, 5 knives that make me happy. All right, I'm going to start with the obvious. Baby banter can peel an apple, but not slice the thing. Too small, fellas. Incognito Griffin, good to have you, Incognito. All right, I have arrived late. Why is the banter being popular? Is such because Ben designed it. It's too small for me, especially since I carry the Vaquero on the daily. That's right. This man carries the Vaquero on the daily, but Incognito, I think you will agree. Sometimes it's helpful to have another knife with you, and generally a smaller one, to cover your bases. The banter, why not? Well made, small, thin, Lee ground, very sharp. You just might not be able to get through your apple with it. But all right, so first off is an obvious one. This is my birthday knife, my 50th birthday knife from Matt Chase and Hogtooth Knives. I'm going to let the focus catch up. There we go. And first of all, guy does beautiful sheath work. And the knife itself is just a gorgeous thing. I mean, this is my, if I get called out in a knife duel, this is what I'm going to go defend my honor with. It feels amazing in hand. I mean, it's beautiful to look at. It's so solid, and the materials are cool with a cool story. This is wrought iron from a bridge. I keep forgetting to find out what bridge it is in Boston that went through a rehab in the last 10 years or so. And a friend of the maker harvested some old wrought iron for him for knife guards. This is 15N20 and 1095 folded and manipulated in all different sorts of ways to come up with that cool Damascus pattern. This is stag with silver pins, black micarta spacer. Bob Loveless sub-hilt fighter made by Hogtooth Knives, given to me by my parents on my 50th birthday. So yeah, this is one that makes me happy. So that, that is a bit of sentimentality there, but it is actually indeed a knife that makes me very happy. Another one is right here. Now this is a modern knife. The baby banter will slice the hell out of, wait, what did that say there? Baby banter will slice the hell out of a crab apple. That's right. Look out. Chris Wolf says that is a sweet blade right there. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It is a dream knife. Literally. Thank you, Blade Hobby. It is literally a dream knife. Looks awesome. Rambo style. Yeah. I've always loved the Bob Loveless designs, especially the sub-hilt fighter. And then to have one with Damascus and stag. Oh my God. Not challenging you. Yeah, right. You, sir, have betrayed my honor. I love that, says Walt Gilbert. Why do I keep saying Gilbert? I'm sorry, man. Sean T, beautiful blade. I agree. Thank you. And sharp on both edges. You don't look 50, fella. Wearing it well. Thank you, Kellen. Much appreciated. It's funny. You look at pictures, Professor EDC, that was absolutely an obvious choice. Thank you. I like to be obvious. But you were talking about age, and it's just funny to see pictures from generations back when people's lives were harder. And Jason, work of art. Indeed. Thank you. I agree. I say thank you like I made it. But yeah, it's just interesting to see pictures of your grandparents and your great-grandparents' generations at 50. They had lived much harder lives by the time they got there. So they wore it on their face for sure. Next up is not only an amazing knife in the Spartan Harzy folder. I'm going to let the focus catch up here. But it does have a bit of sentimental. Oh, come on. Let's go. Here, I'll just hold it here. It does have some sentimental value in that after I interviewed Curtis Iavito for the podcast, he said, send me your folder and I'll engrave it, your logo. And he put it right there, or one of his guys. And then they put it on the filler tab too. So, lots of value there, but also I just absolutely love this knife. I love everything about it. The only thing I don't love is this thing that everyone else complains about. It would be nice if there were a nice clean sharpening choil there, but I'm not gonna. That's not gonna ruin it for me. I love everything about this knife. I absolutely love William Harsey. First of all, the man himself is very cool, very nice guy, interesting, smart, artistic, and tough as hell. So I really like him. I love every design I've ever seen that he's made ever. And I think that the way Spartan built this knife, it has all the best qualities of a Sebenza and all the best qualities of an XM, XM 18 or 24. Just solid as hell. Great example of this type. And by this type, I mean the hard use tactical frame lock, titanium frame lock folder, non-flipper. Thank you very much. So yeah, everything about this knife I love, and it makes me happy indeed. All right, nextly, imagine if we could bring our collections back to the past and how they'd marvel at some of our advances. No kidding, Scott. Like, I have this knife sitting on my computer that my brother got me for my birthday, old jackknife. And I mean, it's a great little knife, and actually it's very, very well made, but still, just to see how far we've come. Kellen says, I have a Japanese knife from World War II my grandfather brought back. Damn. Don't have any idea what the actual history is, but would love to find it out. Oh man, take some pictures. I'd love to see some pictures of that knife. I'd like to find out about that too. The third knife that makes me happy here is the big old giant XL Espada. And this one is in full dress. I have one of these in the G10. This one's got the AUS 8 blade steel. It's got the polished aluminum bolsters, the long ass handle with the sub hilt way down here that I love, and polished G10. Just an amazing knife. And the thing that makes me happy about this is that it is truly the most audacious, folding knife, pocket knife out there. I mean, there are none that surpass it in audacity. The nerve to make this knife. I love the historical, what do you call it? Navaja knife design anyway. And this one's hollow ground. My brother got it for me. So it's got a lot in it. Brother got it for me. It feels great. So cool. A beast, but a well-dressed beast indeed, sir. Yeah, I love that you can choke down. I have two of these. Like I said, I have one in G10, so you can do cool stuff with two of them if you're nerding out. Shanti, oh my, that knife is tiny. Yes, I agree. Puny little pocket knife. But yeah, that's why this is the one. I mean, I love all of the large cold steels. I have many of them, but this just takes the cake, obviously. Scott N. So may hate the design, but you've got to respect a company that dedicates that type of resources to the Espada series and materials and workmanship. No doubt. Not only that, but Lynn Thompson, when he was at the helm for most of the period of time, Lynn Thompson has a collection, a wicked collection of historical blades, and is just a huge knife nerd. And so his taking ethnographic designs and producing them in modern versions, I think it's I dare say it's an invaluable service to the knife community. That sounds so goddamn corny, and I don't mean it that way, but it's nice to know that someone is building old designs. I mean, albeit updated, of course, but old designs and in such a way that they're taking advantage of all the most modern materials and manufacturing. I think that's awesome. And it keeps certain knives like the Navaja, keeps this knife alive. When the Spaniards, common man, was no longer able to carry a sword, they started carrying these giant ass folding knives that they kept in their cummerbunds and their waistbands and that kind of thing. And Cold Steel is making them. So thank you, Cold Steel. Your knife makes me happy. Incognito Griffin says, the Espada is the most unique knife in the world. No other folding knife can compete with it unless we're talking about pocket space. And yeah, damn it. Damn it. Now I am sounding my age. Advanced Knife Bro just did a big video, and I have to watch it. I haven't seen it yet, where he asks the question, can he destroy this knife? And if you know Advanced Knife Bro, which I'm sure you do, he does a lot of zany things with his pocket knives, batoning, chief among them. But he makes great videos. He's a very funny guy, very smart guy with a droll sense of humor. And I think he's got film school training, and he makes some excellent videos. So check that one out. Walt, I have scars on my left thumb knuckle and right middle finger knuckle that I got from an old timer slip joint when I was about 11. I wish I still had it. Wow. So, okay. So middle finger. So you closed it on your finger. Which pocket do you carry the Espada? Clearly it's a watch pocket knife. No. Have I ever carried that? I don't think I've ever carried that. Just around the house. But if you say you drop this in a pair of in a pair of Carhartts, it'll come up to about here. The clip, it'll sit on the bottom. A pair of jeans, you'll be lucky if it clips on at all. Pair of skinny jeans, it's like coming out right about here. So yeah, the knife is not easily pocketable. But some people, I could see if you wear loose jeans, this would definitely go in the waistband well, like at the 4 o'clock position, like between your butt and your hip, like that kind of that area. There is no between, I guess, but you know what I mean. 4 o'clock on your waist. So yeah, love that knife. It makes me happy. Another one that makes me happy that I showed a little bit before when we were talking about Pikal style knives is this Dirk Pinkerton. Actually, before I move on to talk about this Dirk Pinkerton custom Pikal, let me just say that pretty much everything in that cabinet over there makes me happy. And I wanted to limit it to knives that I really like and that I would hate to part with, but also knowing that in the future this will change. So this is a mutable topic. Walt says, I was trying to carve my initials into a tree. You vain person. God was getting back at you. No, I'm just kidding. We've all done it. But yeah, it's always better to do it with a locking knife. I've done it in the past, 5 years or so with my daughter's initials in a tree in the park. And I thought I would use my old camp knife, my old scout knife, because I thought it would be authentic, but really I realized how poorly locked open that blade was. So when I returned, I used the Delica. The Delica is an awesome knife for that, if you need to know. Carving in trees. Only where it's legal. So this knife makes me happy in a number of ways. Professor EDC, man, I'd love to go to a poker night with that Espada and see the faces of the players. Exactly. Just Alex, great to have you here, sir. We're doing this 5 knives that make me happy, which is a video that I've been tagged to do by Professor EDC, and I haven't had a chance to do it, and so I'm doing it right here. And actually, I am on knife number 4. and it's a Dirk Pinkerton custom pick haul style knife that I got at Blade Show. And so this knife has a number of things going for it. First of all, one of the first things that drew me to this knife from across the crowded room was this handle. I love the colors of this micarta handle. It's sort of like an orangey red and a really kind of a bright yellow. And together, I think they're just happy. They're cheery, they're beautiful, and they're on the nice texture of this micarta. I do like the black. So, I mean, I spotted this from a mile away, and of course, it was sitting at an angle somewhat like this. And I, of course, saw the weird angle from the handle to the blade, and I was like, I bet that's a Pikal knife. And I rushed over to the table. I'm like, no one better see that thing before I get there, or there's going to be trouble. And I got there and bought it immediately. It feels great. Yeah, sherbet colors. Yeah. On such a grimly purposed knife, you got a double edge. This is obviously not for gardening, or cutting fruit. This is for stabbing suckers, so to speak. But it looks so nice and happy and cheery doing so. But yeah, with the black, I think these colors of the micarta handle with the black look great. It reminds me of my experience, and I had also interviewed him for the podcast, but it was nice to meet Dirk Pinkerton in person. Incidentally, I love his designs, and I, before buying this, had recently gotten the Main Street from Concept Knives. This is also a Dirk Pinkerton design, and I absolutely love this knife. And he's got a thing with Wharncliffes. He does great Wharncliffes, and his grinding is outstanding. So at his table, he had a whole bunch of non-coated blades, and you could see those grind lines, and everything was perfection. 7 likes? Come on, guys. I'm with you, Shane. Come on, guys. 7 likes? Manaja. What am I going to do with you? If you're there and you're watching, give me 7. Give me 7 likes. Give me a like. It costs you nothing. You're like, but really, I don't like it. I'm here for discipline. So yeah, I had gotten this, loved this, and then boom, there's this. Love this knife. This makes me quite happy. It's a beautiful design, beautiful execution, and I got a chance to meet the guy who made it, who I found absolutely lovely. Good guy. That Dirk Pinkerton, good guy. When I was talking to Sean Kendrick, I mentioned Dirk Pinkerton. He was just like, oh, that guy was a natural from the moment he stepped up to a grinder. I thought that was a nice compliment coming from that guy. Incognito. So what's the advantage on the Pikal blade style, blade shape? You have, you're maximizing your sort of caveman reaction, your gross motor function. In contrast to something where you might need more precision, or you're relying on movements that are look cool and are useful in certain sort of knife fighting situations, but chances are you're not in that situation. Like, great for fighting with another skilled practitioner in that art form with a knife in some sort of, within some sort of respectful boundaries, which none of that happens. So death incognito. So this takes advantage of, and by this I mean tip down and edge in. This one has a bonus edge on the outside, but it reaches out, takes full advantage of the arcing motion of your shoulder and your elbow, and you're just basically stabbing and pulling and stabbing, and you've got all the juice here at the tip and on that inside edge. So it's tearing like a cat's claw, as opposed to a karambit, which is more shaped like this, and you're moving it out this way. This you're doing like that. So that's the general idea. Interesting. Ed Calderon is an interesting guy to listen, talk to about the subject. We did that. Pikal turns you into a raptor. Yep. I talked with Ed Calderon on the podcast. He has some very interesting things to say about that, and has interesting opinions about karambits and ringed things as well. I love that. So that's why I asked Janich, a guy who does different kind of knife, his opinions about those things. And it's just interesting to hear all these differing thoughts from experts. Walt, thank you, sir. I appreciate that greatly, man. $4.99 super chat from Walt. I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate it. And I'm going to show you this fifth knife that makes me happy. And this is the first one. Let's see, Blade Hobby. I really like that style knife. I'm no knife fighter, but I think I could do that motion. Yes. And I don't have any of them here with me. One of them is in the car. One of them is at work. But yeah, if you get one of those curved fruit knives from Victorinox and then just heat it up with a heat gun or in a toaster oven and bend the handle a little bit so that the blade reaches out from your fist a bit, you can try it out that way and make a little sheath out of plastic or Kydex, drop it in your pocket with no tethers, no nothing. Oh, yeah, he does make for a great interview. You can be walking around with a little fixed blade knife that you could pull out and use like that in an emergency, and no one's going to know it because it's so tiny and so light. So, yeah, check out those Victorinoxes. But this is the first tactical folding knife I ever got. I got it in the summer of 1991. It was the summer of 91. Oh, yeah. Good times. Summer of 91. I was in love living in Boston for the summer. And I walked into a knife shop, which I'm sure does not exist there anymore. And it was on Newberry Street, and it was downstairs. And I went in there, and I saw this, and it blew my mind. First of all, I didn't know the term recurve, but I knew I loved that blade. And the handle reminded me, I had already gotten my Master Tanto from Cold Steel, and this reminded me of that, with the checkered craton grip and the bolster and a lockback. And this was before thumb studs or opening holes were de rigueur, and so people like SOG were still putting little nail nicks on tactical folders. So I bought this summer in 91. Walked around. This is me now. I carry a knife now, people. Like it's been a long time coming, and now I'm doing it. And that's what I did. So I carried this knife for a long time, dull as hell. This knife was never sharp. This knife was not sharp for like 20 years or something. And then I found it several years back and gave it the treatment and got it wicked sharp. I said it like that because I bought it in Boston. But I got it super sharp. And but all those years, I guess I never really used it, or I suffered through a somewhat dull knife. But this is SOG before SOG went bad. And I know SOG has come back from the brink. But it got cheesy for a while there. But the Stingray is so awesome. Excellent looking knife. Yes, I agree. Thank you, sir. I mean, thank you. Like I made it. But it has some of that classic SOG Bowie style in the blade that I love. And it's just so cool. Bob, thank you for doing the tag. I was really curious to see your choices. I was 3 for 5 guessing your choices, which are awesome. Which ones didn't you guess? Let me know which ones you didn't guess. So the 5 knives that make me happy here are the Hogtooth Knives Sub-Hilt Fighter. I'll move up so you can see the sub-hilt. The Spartan Harzy Folder, mine with the Knife Junkie milled into the side. The absolutely gigantic Espada XL for its audaciousness, plus it was a gift from my brother. The Pinkerton Knives Custom Double-Edged Pikal, because it is both a grim tool and a happy tool all at once, and I really like that quality. And then here we got the old Stingray from SOG. So yeah, those are my choices. Blade Freak, how's it going, Blade Freak? I saw Blade Freak saying hi in the chat. Good to see you here, Blade Freak.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
How's my mic?
Sounds great.
Good.
How are you, sir?
Good. Just thought I'd share my top 5 or my 5 that make me happy.
But before you do, let us know what you were carrying today. Oh, yes, sweet. Sir. Hoback Quayback.
Yep. Carbon fiber. Beautiful. Which I'm not really a fan of carbon fiber usually. I love this thing. I don't know. I won it in a raffle like 5 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And it's been my number 1 ever since. So.
Very nice. So is that the one and only you were carrying today?
Yep. I'm a one knife guy. Sorry.
Oh, well, hey, you know. But so let's see what your choices are. Blade Hobby says great choices. Thank you. Blade Freak, what's your first name, if you don't mind my asking?
Bryce.
Bryce.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see, Blade Freak. Let's see, Bryce.
Number 1.
Oh, wait. This is your BGM.
Yep.
Oh, dude. I love it.
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I use this thing pretty hard, but you wouldn't notice. I mean, I don't even think I've touched up the edge. I've had it for 4 years.
So this is a BGM knife by John Miller, and damn, it's a beast. Tell us about how you. This is a custom. This is not one of his regular models. Yeah, tell us about it.
This is actually my design.
Nice.
I don't know if that qualifies. It's just a Bowie, but I definitely drew it. And yeah, I don't know. I think I use it. I mean, obviously, a knife like this, you don't use much, but I think I probably use it 3 or 4 times a year.
Nice.
But when I do use it, I use it. So.
JN says, "Look at that sharpening trail." What do you do? Do you go camping with that?
Yeah. I do regular canoe trips in the Boundary Waters. If you know where that is.
No, I don't. Where is that? Minnesota?
Yep. It's beautiful. Just Google BWCA, and you'll just want to go there. So, but I process wood with that a lot. Deer hunting, that just chops the pelvis for me. So.
Oh, man, right on. Well, what's the steel? I know John works in many different steels.
You know, I want to say 1095.
Okay.
I didn't go 3V because that would have been a chunk of change, but
yeah,
I don't know. It does the job.
You've been posting that a lot recently. I've seen a few pictures of it.
Yeah. People seem to like it, so I put it up there. It's probably the only fixed blade that gets love out of my collection. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. BGM's hot right now.
Oh yeah. I have his Quaken. I have one of those Quakens, and that's my bedside knife right now. Nice. I love that thing.
Yeah.
That is.
I actually used to have a Quaken. Yeah. Sold that. Kind of regret it, but whatever.
Yeah. Jan says you can sharpen that Bowie until you're too old to. He's commenting on. Sure. Yeah, I like his sharpening choils, and on my Quaken, the sharpening choil goes up real high like that, and it is so thinly ground. It's a hollow grind. It's so thinly ground that you could sharpen up to the top of that sharpening choil, and you'd still have sharp.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what else you got?
All right. Yeah, that one, the big one. I actually just posted that one up on Instagram today. Let's see. So this one, I was in the Army for 6 years, and I carried a lot of cheap folders. I wasn't a knife guy, but I obviously used knives my whole life, so they were just tools. You might appreciate this one because you have a SOG in your.
Oh, nice.
It's an old auto clip. But of all my Army folders, pocket knives, at least, this was the lone survivor.
Really?
Yep.
So did other stuff get stolen or just busted through use, or did you lose it in the field? Or
mostly lost. The there was a few. I was airborne infantry, so you jump out of planes, and actually, I had 3 knives open in my pocket when I landed.
No shit.
Yeah. So, and they were all CRKTs.
Ah.
So.
Michael Morgan says thank you for your service, and I echo that and concur. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
So all CRKTs.
Yep. Actually, maybe one was a Gerber.
Of course. No, just kidding.
But yeah, cheap knives. I never bought really nice, expensive knives. So I think the most expensive one I had was my K-bar, and that one actually got confiscated on the way home from Iraq. So.
Oh God, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was a bummer.
So some TSA agent has it hanging on his
somewhere. Yeah, all
dude.
battle worn, sharpened on a rock.
Man, cool. I am sorry to hear that. That sucks.
Yeah, whatever. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But actually, this one, I was pretty impressed with SOG's warranty because they replaced all the hardware on it for me. And that clip is, yeah, that's pretty impressive. That clip is one of those integral. Okay, it springs up. Yeah. You would honestly, like, you'd think that break or fall, like this thing would have broken. Trust me.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool.
The pivot screw broke out of it before my clip broke.
See, that's one of those unsung hero knives because it's not one that necessarily, you'd go and buy again.
Right.
But it's one that you had, and you had it during a certain time, and it hooked you up. It was,
It did the job. Yeah.
Did the job. Yeah.
Did the job. So actually, the third one I don't actually have. I cannot find it right now, but it's probably just buried in my camping stuff. But I have a replacement from the same maker, it's reaching the same level. But Lou Custom. I have his other one is a camp knife from him, and he just makes beautiful stuff.
That is beautiful.
I think I'm the only one that buys stuff from him that wants like only G10 and Kydex. He's a more of a fancier type maker, so this is kind of roughing it for him, I think.
Right.
But
so can you hold that up a little bit closer to the camera, and tell me what's the guy's name again?
Lou Custom. I don't know if it's gonna focus.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So do you use that for hunting, for game and stuff?
I have not gutted a deer with this yet, but I can already tell you that it's perfect for it.
Right.
So,
that's so cool.
Yeah, this right here. This is what you look for on a gutting knife.
Something that you can get your finger like to the end.
Yeah, because blind cuts deep in there.
That's so that you don't over penetrate. You stop with your fingers. You don't poke any guts.
Yep, and I would say full control, so you don't cut yourself.
Oh well, yeah. There's that too. It's all slippery and.
Yep, and that's a good bird knife and trout knife too. So I've used it on trout so far. Duck hunting is coming up, so it's gonna get a lot of use soon.
Oh, good.
Yep.
God, I love duck.
But he uses AEBL a lot, stainless. It's the best blade steel I've experienced. So I've experienced a lot of blade steels.
What about AEBL do you like?
It's basically as stainless as you could want, and it holds an edge forever. So it's not too bad to sharpen. Sometimes the camp knife is pretty hard. He has that one hardened pretty good. So that one did take a long time to reprofile for my own edge on the KME. Mm. But this one's small enough that even though it's a tough steel to sharpen, it didn't take too long because it's so small.
That's a little beauty, man. I like the harpoon on that. I'm usually not much of a harpoon guy. Well, at least not on folders. I really like how that looks.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. What was that? 3?
Yeah.
We'll go with this one here. So,
Oh, sweet.
just a Strider SMG, but so far it's the first and only knife that my wife has purchased for me. So,
Oh, man, she's a keeper. That's a good one.
that's a good one.
That's a good one, man. So did she get that for you without knowing anything about what you liked, or was this like, honey, I really want an SNG, and she's like, send me the link?
Actually, I just sent her their Instagram heads up post.
Oh, okay.
Hey, this is a good 30th birthday present. And she did everything on her own. I had no clue until it came in the mail, and I was the only one home, and she was bummed about that. But I did wait for her to get home to open it, but I knew what it was.
Okay, good man.
Yeah. So,
well, that's a good one because it's a really awesome knife, but it also has a great sentimental sort of meaning to it.
Yep. Well, actually, I actually already showed off my 5th one, but this guy right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's number 5.
How long have you had that?
Gosh, I don't know. Early 2018, maybe. I won it in a raffle on Instagram for $25.
Jeez, man, that is awesome.
Right, yeah, that was right in my like $100 knife phase. You know, you go through.
Yeah.
It just ruined it all for me. It ruined the incremental climb.
Right, you went immediately. You went from $100 knives to 700 or whatever those things.
Yeah.
Those are man, those are way up there. The Hoback, what's the brute? What's the one that's kind of looks very different? It's out right now. It's newish.
Husky?
The Husky. Yeah.
That's a beast.
That is a beautiful.
That is his mini version of it, right?
Oh, that is awesome. That's not what I'm talking about, but yeah, I love that.
This is the small EDC version, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, and his axe design is cool. I had him. He was scheduled to come on my show, and then he was moving, and so we haven't rescheduled yet. But I do look forward to talking to him. Because you know what happens, Bryce, is I talk to someone and then I'm like, well, since I've spoken to them, since we had this hour-long conversation, to honor that experience, I should buy one of his knives.
Oh, sure.
To add it to the collection. That's how I can justify it.
Yeah, actually, I've become a big Hoback fan. I wouldn't say, I don't know if you look at my Instagram, it's not like I'm a one brand guy. Like, it's pretty obvious. I'm pretty obviously only USA made buying, but I'm not like outspoken about that or anything.
Right.
But Hoback's really made an impression on me. So I don't know. I think he's recently revamped his custom order book, so I might get in on that.
Hey man, I think you should while the spirit moves you. You know,
right.
I think it's easier, like I was saying this before, with the custom fixed blade knives. It's kind of easier to get into them if you like fixed blades. A lot of people who are in this hobby don't care about fixed blades at all, don't have any, or to me they're well, not by numbers, but I consider them half of my collection.
Yeah, actually, thinking about it, I probably have more fixed blades. You'd be shocked at my number. I only have 8 folders.
Really?
Yep.
How many?
That's by design, by the way. I used to have a lot more.
Okay. So you've reduced and refined.
Yes, greatly. I think I had over 60 at one point, which honestly, in this hobby, there's people that's pretty modest, but yeah, I have a limit of 10, and I'm at 8 right now. So
That's so disciplined. So limit of 10 folders.
folders,
Okay.
fixed blades, that's per job.
What do you mean?
I have like one knife per job, like per use.
Oh, I
Makes
got
sense.
you.
Yeah. So I actually recently picked up. I didn't have a tactical knife.
What?
Which, yeah, I know. But this is what I picked up for mine.
Michael Morgan says that's discipline. Oh yeah. So what do you think of these?
I love it.
This is the Guardian. Is that the 4?
Yep, this is a 4.
So I just
It's still hammer stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't pried anything with it, but I'm not really in that phase of life anymore that I would need to. So
Yeah.
I think it would hold up.
I had a chance to check out their full lineup at Blade Show, and they had a huge table or booth, and man, I've always kind of thought they were kind of plain looking.
Yeah.
But I make no bones about the fact that I love how knives look, and that's important to me. But when I was at their table and got a chance to hold it, and man, those are nice. And that's the configuration I'd probably get that 4-inch, but the small one feels good too. But what I love is the 50/50 choil on the handle.
Yep.
And the rounded butt, the rounded pommel, for a couple of reasons. If you like to carry fixed blades in your waistband, which I do, you want that sort of rounded pommel.
It doesn't dig into you.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you're seated, in the car or something like that. But also that having that 50/50 choil where half of it is blade and half of it is handle, just makes the handle shorter. Sure. And for someone who carries it in the waistband, I just like a shorter handle when possible, because so it doesn't ride up so high. So I think the Bradford knives, man, they really figured out a good recipe.
Yeah, that's a good one. Honestly, I don't know. Some people wouldn't really say this is a tactical knife, but that's all I would need it for. I mean, I guess I wouldn't really hesitate. I don't think I would ride up onto the blade at all, stabbing.
Probably not.
But I can tell you that, 6 years in the infantry, I never had to stab anything not reverse grip. So.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Maybe sandbags. But,
yeah. So what you're saying is that the chance of running up onto the blade is nil anyway, because you're going to have it capped with your thumb because it's going to be in reverse grip.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about that. But yeah. Oh, I do have something that would make you happy, I think.
Oh, let's see.
This is a recent pickup.
Oh, cool. Oh shit, what is that?
You know what? I looked it up and I can't remember the name. It's some kind of Japanese.
Like a naginata.
Yeah. Yep, you got it.
Wow, but it's got like a sax blade on it. So cool, man.
So this is I can't wait to try this out on some watermelons or something.
What? So where'd you get that? Naginata.
So, I don't know if you ever heard of them, but American Edge Knives. It's a website knife company. Their storefront is local to me.
Oh, nice.
So it was my idea, I guess, but they finally did they had a knife enthusiast meetup.
Oh, nice.
And I noticed I've been in that store a lot. And
what's it called again? American Edge. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I just saw it on the wall, and he had a $60 price tag on it. And it was like, I took it off the wall and gave it I've watched Forged in Fire. It looks good, so it's full tang. I don't know.
Okay, ex Kia Dao Xkiadao, thank you for joining us. Says looks more like a Zanmadao than a Naginata. I guess the Naginata has a sort of upswept blade, and a Zanmadao. Oh, and a Naginata is Japanese, and I don't think they have rings on the end. I think that's more of a Chinese thing. But in any way, thank you. Thank you for that Xkiadao. Xkiadao. Got it. Too short to be a Naginata. Interesting. Since we're talking about long-handled, long-bladed things, the Panabas is something. It's like a short version of both of these kind of things from the Philippines. Oh man, those are cool too. They have these big, long, kind of like almost like axe handles, but with a huge blade on top.
Nice.
Yeah,
actually, looking at your wall, I need to.
Oh yeah,
I need to put some stuff up on my wall.
Yeah. But don't be fooled. These are not wall hangers, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe this one is. But yeah, these are. And then I added the K-bar my brother got me from. It looks like it's a World War II Navy, not K-bar. I guess they called it the Mark II. Added to the wall.
That's a wormhole.
Yeah, man. It is it is
a rabbit hole. Yeah, and a lot of people will argue with you.
Yeah, the best I can do is just say, "What do you think this is?" and then see what people have to, what they think. Let me show you Blade Freak. I got a couple of knives. Have you seen this one? This is one that is on loaned to me through the pass around group, and I think it's really cool. I have some issues with it, but I think it's really cool. This is the drop distributed, We Knife made, Gareth Bull designed. See, that's part of it. Mura. A Mura, I remember from my lusting over Lamborghini days, is a breed of fighting bull from Spain, and Gareth Bull, you get it. So I don't know. But this thing has a really nice, thinly ground, hollow ground blade. I think it looks great. I also am not a carbon fiber fan, but I do like the carbon fiber on this one. Here's my thought on this knife. I like it better than the Shamwari, his other famous design, his most famous design, I think. But I look at this and I think do you? You like the look of this one better? So I look at this and I think two things. I think Bob Terzuola and I think Bill Harsey. I think this knife, though very fetching, I think it's a little derivative almost to me, especially in this area here. But I don't know. Maybe I'm picking nits.
Definitely. No, definitely hard.
Yeah, and a bit of that Terzuola right in here and with the thumb ramp.
Yeah.
Evolved EDC says I want that in the Shamwari. Yeah. Beautiful production. It's got great jimping. I mean, this thing it's a really nice knife. For it to be anywhere close to ideal for me, it would be larger. And I don't think the front flipper is great, though I don't have much experience with front flippers, so I'm not sure if. Yeah, I know you're all gasping, but I think it requires more wrist than today's inline flipper. I've heard it called that, inline flipper. Is that for sale or trade? No, it's not even mine. If it were, it would be, but it's not, unfortunately. However, if the pass around group said that I won this, I would keep it because I do like it. Michael Morgan, hi, I'm Vince, and thus this is Chamois. Yeah, it is nice clip and everything. So yeah, I got that one on loan, and then I have another one on loan that I want to show off real quick. And this comes from our good friend Edwin, our resident Emerson expert, Callow PR. He's got, oh my God, we were talking about collections. This dude's collection is astounding, and it's mostly Emerson's. And like, he's got them all. He's got all of them and their prototypes. But this is one that Emerson recently just, what do you call it, released to his Collectors Association. So every year they put out a Collectors Association knife, and it's always some sort of unique design. And in the box came a description, and he was basically saying, this is the knife I've been trying to design all these years.
Really?
Interesting, okay. Huh?
So that's the one to get then. That's what I
presumably, but you can't get it. You know, you have to be a member of the and to me, you know, I love Emerson's. To me, this is definitely not the be all and end all. But to him, I guess it was a simplifying, a paring down, a distillation of his tastes or something like that. You know, you've got this almost CQC 7 handle and a Bowie blade. And, you know, he does Bowies like they're going out of style. He loves those Bowie blades. And I guess the wavelessness of it is part of what's, you know, different about it.
I am not a fan of the wave.
Not a fan of the wave. Why is that?
Not a wave fan. No.
Is it why?
There's sometimes I want to take the knife out of my pocket, and I guess I don't have a decent reason. But I just never feel the need to whip it out of my pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's a but if you're packing for a situation where you would need that, then I would just have a fixed blade like you do on your belt.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Or a fixed blade and a waved knife is what I say.
Sure.
Evolve DC says not an Emerson. Yeah. It wouldn't be a huge shock. Evolve says not an Emerson guy, but I like that one. Yeah, it is a cool one, I gotta say. You know, Emerson. A lot of people just don't get it, and I get it. And when I say don't get it, I mean they just don't have that love for the Emersons. Like this one, like all good Emersons, has. Listen to this. Lock stick at first, and it goes away. It does with all of my Emersons. It's gone away. But in the initial part, it's like, oh no, this is a lemon.
No, I guess I'm not too harsh. So.
Yeah, you keep breaking up on us, Bryce. Not sure what the. No, that's okay. I heard you. You know what? You were running down the wave, and I think the internet gods didn't like it either. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, I jest. My Emerson wave is a Kershaw, says JN. Yeah, Kershaw did a pretty good job with those. I really like my my ZT Emersons. Those are awesome. Little lockstick is okay. Yeah, I agree with you. Little lockstick never hurt anyone. Bryce.
See, I'm okay with the lock. Yep.
Nothing. Go ahead. You're okay with the lock?
I'm okay with the lock stick as long as it wears out. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Once it wears out, you know it's like fitting in there perfectly.
Right.
Max the Makers thinks waves are fun. I do too. And they're impressive. So look at that. Well, what's this? I'm sorry, is that your okay. Your camera is a little blurry, but Is that a slicer grind or is that a Spanto grind? I can't.
It is the Fullard spear.
Oh, full length spear. Man, that is a beaut. I need to get a black coated hinderer. All of my.
I actually I think I like it better than the Battle Black.
Oh yeah. I absolutely love my ZT640, says. Oh yeah. Oh man, I just love hinderers. And like I said, I just can't stop carrying this one around, which is fine. You know, I don't have to. But I've been flirting with the idea of taking off the flipper tab.
Oh, I have one that you need too. You've never had one, I guess.
What's this? Is that an Umnumzan? Oh man.
It is.
That's a beauty. And I love that Tanto blade. I love it.
Yeah, this the blade to get, I think. I'm a big Tanto fan.
Yeah, me too. And I like the Chris Reeve Tantos. I like how they do the front part. You know, it just kind of comes to that zero edge.
Right.
So, have you heard of BP knives?
BP knife.
That's a beaut. Yeah, it's a brand new company. It sounds like the start of a joke. It's not. So, have you heard the one about BP knives? No, BP Knives is a new knife company, and they have a design that they were showing off that Knife News featured, and it's a pretty interesting looking little clip point, you know, with an axis lock and a long opening hole. So it's pretty cool. But I think its real selling point is that it's a 4V on a folding knife. What do you think of that? 4V on a folding knife. Is that total overkill or what?
Am I gonna catch some heat for this? But I'm not a fan of 3V. There are, if my BGM Quaken was 3V, and it was good for what I used it for. I was basically a work knife pry bar, but I don't have a use for that. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with the edge retention, I guess. I remember slicing, gosh, it wasn't all that much. It was maybe 20 squares of Scotch-Brite or something. And it was gone. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, if you had been chopping it with great force, maybe maybe it would have been better. That toughness would have come in handy.
Right.
So this knife is something kind of funny about it is that one of the things they say is that they want it to look like, it's called the McQueen, by the way, but they want it to look, and that's a 2.5-inch blade. They want it to look like something that you can carry to the office, then carry to, what did they say? Go from your place of work to a wedding to the back country, all without looking like it's not out of place. And I was like, okay, that to me sounds like in the fashion world, they call that day to night.
Sure.
Like girl, you can wear that dress to the office and then you can go out for drinks with it. And it looks good in both places. And that's the first thing I thought of. But I thought, yeah, okay, it looks good in the office and it looks good. And I'm not dissing. It's all love for all knives. And here are two enterprising knife designers who've come up with a pretty interesting and cool design. But when I read that, I was like, yeah, okay, of course. Wear it to the office and then put it in your tux.
Because everyone only buys one knife, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Normal people.
Right, normal people. But all that being said, Jim, can you bring that up for one more quick second? When you look at this, look at the tip. Now, the tip of that It looks like there's no distal taper to the blade stock, so that when you come to the tip as sharp, definitely qualifies as gentleman's carry, says Hollywood Tactical. I would agree with that.
Yep.
Almost money clippish. But when you look at that clip, it looks like it's, or that tip, it looks like it's not very fine. It looks like it's more like a pry bar kind of. See how it flares out there? Ignoring the pocket clip, it looks like a Walmart knife. Oh, man.
I mean,
so hurtful.
I'm not going to completely disagree.
I'm going to agree with Oregon Knife Guy when he says the handle is almost twice as long as the blade. And to me, that is definitely a down point. I like a better blade to handle ratio. That's why I've never been a huge PM2 fan. Sure. I mean, of course, if you need to use it and hold it in your hand, it's awesome. But if you're going to look at it and judge it on its looks, it's got some issues with that ratio.
I don't care about blade to handle ratio.
Well, you seem to be a very practical guy.
I use my stuff, but I'm not a guy that's gonna buy a knife and then go test it on 30 boxes of cardboard, because I don't ever slice cardboard ever in my life. So
okay, I don't either. I generally don't either. When I called you practical, I put some stink on that, and I think that was more out of guilt that I have so many knives that I don't use. So I don't mean it in a judgmental way. I mean it in one of those ways that I actually admire. People who have that kind of restraint. Oregon Knife Guy says that thing makes the PM2 look proportionate. Oh dear, that's knife humor. Yeah,
is this the design they should have been trying to reach here?
That's kind of funny. That's the en belay, right?
No, this is the infraction.
Oh, the infraction. Yep. This made me think of that blade.
Yep. And I think if you're going to have a blade to handle ratio problem, it should be because of this.
A choil. Yeah, that is a
cool smoothest knife I've ever handled. This is just nuts.
That is pretty sweet, man. But all the Medfords I've had, which is only 3, have been super smooth like that.
Yeah.
I don't mean only 3. That sounds because they're damn expensive. But I have pared it down to 2. One of them was given to me, so I can't get rid of it. Knives Fast, gotta go. Thanks for the show. Thank you, Knives Fast. Always a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. He's another Virginia boy. Not that I'm a Virginia boy. I'm an Ohio boy who lives in Virginia. My wife just ordered me a Medford Slim Midi for my upcoming 42nd birthday. Man, that's a good gift.
Those are good looking. Not gonna lie. Yeah. Especially the Tanto.
Yep.
Yeah. That's on my list. I still have a list, even though I have discipline.
I had one of those. That was the one I got rid of, and I sold it because I desperately needed something else. Can't remember what it was, but I really did like that Slim Midi a lot.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Slim Midis, I don't think all of them are on bearings. Oh,
mine wasn't. Mine definitely was not.
Some people think that, and I don't think that's right. I think if they go smaller than that, the Medfords are on bearings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine came smooth. I got it from Alex at the Knife Box channel. Mine came super smooth, but as I had it, it just became drop shutty. And man, no play in any Medfords.
No.
I've had a couple on loan from Dirk. Same thing. No play in any Medfords.
That's one thing that I'm kind of wrestling with. I sing this knife's praises just all the time, and it makes me feel just like a Medford fanboy. And I'm not, but I don't know. This thing, right when I got it, after maybe 2 weeks of carry, it's got to be like number 3 for me of all time.
Oh wow!
So yeah, this is a good one. Even flips.
Oh yeah. With that tang.
Yeah. No, it really does flip easily.
Is that intentional?
I guess he said no, but I can't really think of another reason to put jimping there.
He said, no, flippers are for fruitcakes. Yeah, right, exactly. Why would you put that jimping there?
Which, I mean, you don't really, well, I guess I do use it a little bit.
Shane wants to know what's good at cutting Scotch-Brite.
Actually, my 20 CV ZT was good at it.
20 CV ZT. You heard it. You heard it first here.
0562 that it would cut Scotch-Brite for a long time.
Nice.
That was a. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you if you wanted to do a knife fight.
Oh.
You're here, and you're and this one actually is very apropos.
Okay.
So hey, first before we do this, I'm going to ask Jim for a graphic because I think we should do the knife fight. Pretty cool. I like it, Jim. It's very airy and kind of space aged. So throwaway knives versus safe queens. There are two extremes. We've talked about, I've had different challenges, different knife fights here, kind of on this theme, but I've never put it so starkly. Throwaway knives, one of those $3 Walmart or $2 Walmart knives that come in a bucket versus, Andre Thorburn that you never pull out and use ever. So I want to debate those, but I think you should be on the safe queen. So I think you need to argue for the safe queen.
Oh my God.
Because I think it will. Hello, Jigsaw. Because I think it will stretch you, and I think it'll be good for your career as a debater.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll go first, and I'll take a minute. We'll do a minute. All right. And I am okay. All right. And throwaway knife is a derogatory term. Let's just say a very extremely inexpensive and poorly made knife of bad materials is obviously the superior knife, because in this world of entanglement, in this world of acquisition and just endless consumption, do we need to be saving all of these things? So you have a job to do. You got to cut that sandwich, or you got to cut that piece of rope. Hey, Jigsaw, pleasure to have you. Why are you going to spend all that money on something that does an act that lasts an instant and then is forgotten? The severing of something. So a throwaway knife is so clearly the obvious choice. It is the superior knife because once the job is done, that blade is out of your hair and you don't have to worry about it. It's one less thing to have. Scene. All right, so that's my argument. Now, Bryce, it's your turn. And you need to argue why the safe queen, the knife you never use, is the superior knife. And go.
The safe queen. It makes sense, practically speaking. If you're going to run into a situation where you have used all of your knives and they have all broken somehow, and you need a knife for the apocalypse, you will always have one ready to go. And your kids will always have one ready to go, and so will their kids. So from a practical standpoint, a safe queen makes sense. Why don't you have a safe queen? Scene.
Hey, I like the bringing in the emotion part. Your kids. What about the children? You got to bring the Blade Freak wins. By the way, Oregon Knife Guy said you won before you even opened your mouth. So
all right.
Thank you for the vote of confidence. Yeah. I obviously, I think most of us are somewhere in the middle. But I have been trending towards, like everyone does when they collect things, trending towards more like less but more expensive, fewer but more expensive, and handmade when possible. I'm still so for me, that's bringing me back more towards fixed blades, which were my original love. But Grateful Panic, great to have you here. Whoa, my live chat froze for a few. Howdy, guys. Well, it's great to see you, man. I'm sorry your live chat froze. But
Ours
yeah,
has been freezing sometimes too. Don't worry.
yeah. But I've been watching a couple of guys recently had videos, these best knives under $50 kind of videos. And it just makes me realize, like, I just Jones for them all. I just like them all. Doesn't matter if they're expensive or inexpensive, or like there is something that I can find. It's funny. When I was like a preteen and like totally hard up for girls, I remember thinking like, oh, no. I could find something attractive about any girl. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
Like I could find that thing. And I've outgrown that, and I've outgrown the all pizza tastes good. But I haven't outgrown the like, geez, I want that knife that I know I would never, ever carry.
Right.
I would have it and I would possess it, and I would never carry it, but I still want it.
I do still have that. I do, even though I don't own any budget ones, except for myself.
David, good to have you. Except for your yeah.
But I kind of get off a little bit on buying those kind of knives for families and friends. So I recently brought an old Army buddy, to that knife meetup that I was mentioning. And he, for whatever reason, he did not own a pocket knife, which is kind of embarrassing.
Wow.
It's embarrassing. And I made sure he knew that was embarrassing. But yeah, I put a whole bunch in front of him, and he liked them all and bought them all.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, what did he end up walking away with? Going from 0 to however many? A
lot of Kershaws. The bare knuckle was one of them for sure. A Hogue. I'm so bad at Hogue model numbers.
Oh yeah.
There's the Auto Tanto partially serrated. He thought it was cool, so he got that one. The Dividend, and that cheaper $40 one. I forgot the name of it. It's assisted. It kind of looks like the Dividend, just a little thicker.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, those are all.
Yeah.
Great. His significant other is tired of hearing.
Oh, and actually, there was a guy there selling a blacked out Malibu.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. He was selling it for $140. And I told him to buy it, and he did.
Oh, right on.
So, this is brand new knife guy with a hyper enthusiast knife, I would call it.
Yeah, that is a hyper enthusiast knife. Yeah, man, a knife meetup. That sounds like a great idea.
It was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be awkward, whatever. It wasn't. It was fine. Just a bunch of dudes liking knives.
I was gonna say just as long as like there are knives and people to talk about them.
And women. There was women there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We like that.
Yeah, I do actually. I like it a lot. I'm trying to get my wife into it.
Is there any chance?
She, ever since I gave it to her, she has always carried a Dragonfly.
Oh, nice.
So that's a win.
That is a win. I've gotten my wife a number of knives, and they've gotten kind of. She still likes the assisted. Like her favorite knife is this R.J. Martin designed Kershaw, $20 Kershaw. She loves that thing. That's her go-to. A box comes. That's what even though I've gotten her others that are like nicer, and that's her go-to. So I've gotten all my girlfriends into knives, says Hollywood Tactical. It's like, look, baby, you gonna roll with me? Hit that thumbs up, says Chris Wolf. That's right. Thumbs up, people. Like, comment, subscribe, because I'm about done. It's nearly midnight on the East Coast, and well, I got to be up
11
early.
here, I think. Yeah,
11. You're in the central time zone.
Good old Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota is beautiful. I've heard a lot of weird stories about weird happenings in the woods up in Minnesota. A lot of
There are lots of places you can hide things.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Lots of wilderness and.
Yep. Most people just think of the Twin Cities, but you go an hour plus north of the Twin Cities, and it's farm and wilderness. That's all it is. So.
Yeah. Incognito says, Bob, you should give your wife that Espada so she can purse carry it. Yes, that's next. That's next. Chicago 23. I'm late. Chicago 23. We are closing out, buddy. It's time. 9 p.m. here. Still time to party, says Chris. Well, Chris, man, enjoy it out there. You're on the West Coast. I assume you're going surfing now, because that's what we think over here. No, thanks for joining us. Hey, Bryce, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. It's really nice to meet you.
Yeah,
and it was cool to see that BGM because I've been admiring it on your Instagram feed, and man, that is cool.
It's everyone's favorite fixed blade, I think.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. Good design, man. Oh, wait, is the clip sharp too?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, obviously he could.
The clip, the light caught it in just such a way that.
BGM is one of those guys you probably try to do anything you wanted.
Oh yeah, so, no doubt, and he'd kill it. I'm thinking of having him regrind my Hinderer XM18 Warncliffe because it's so thick behind the edge, and I think he would kill it, knock it out of the park.
Warncliffes deserve a hollow grind.
I agree. It's like a straight razor with a point.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Be sure to check out the Knife Junkie podcast, not only here on YouTube or on Twitch or on Facebook, but if you're mowing the lawn, washing the dishes, driving in your car, doing your taxes. Well, no, not if you're doing your taxes. You should pay attention to those. But you can always listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart. There's Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, whole bunch of others. Godspeed to you too, sir. Check us out. Check us out on the podcast apps. Also, Wednesday is the supplemental day. And if you want to sign up for Patreon, we'd love that. theknifejunkie.com/Patreon. And now that we're doing these extra 20 minutes of interview, it'll be even more exciting and fun to be a patron. So check us out there on Patreon. So for Jim, working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, don't take dull for an answer.